Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Ask a Swim Pro show. Today we're talking about resistance bands and how you can benefit those for dryland training as a swimmer. In just a little bit, I'm going to answer some questions and talk about some best tips for using resistance bands. This is actually a mini band right here, so this isn't the full resistance band. If you guys want to see what true resistance bands, the big version, this is what the big version actually looks like. I don't know if you guys can see it on Instagram, but you've got maybe a door stopper, you've got handles, and this allows you to train inside of your house. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this session. Let me know in the comments not only where you're coming from, so let me know city and country, but also let me know what the swimming situation is like in your neck of the woods. So if you're allowed to go swimming, if you're not allowed to go in the open water, if you're allowed to go to the beach, let me know. There's a lot of different things going on in the world, and I'll be calling them out. So I see a lot of people from Algeria, hello, and from the Philippines, from Brazil. I don't see anyone on YouTube. Where's my YouTube family at? Come on, guys. So let me know where you guys are coming from, and let me know what the pool situation is. Are you allowed to swim? Is social distancing still going on? Are you under lockdown? What is the current situation like when the pool is going to open? Let me know when that's all going to happen, and let me know in the comments where you're from. All right, here we go. From Germany, we are not allowed to swim anywhere. That's not fun. Do you know when you're going to be able to swim in Germany? Alex Brown says, no swimming, too cold in Ottawa, Canada. Yeah, it's pretty cold here in Michigan. Columbus, Ohio, no swimming currently. Thank you for the updates, Susan. When are we going to open up? Let me know when the pools are going to open up. I know in the United States, few different places, pools are locked down in Kuwait. Willie says no swimming on YouTube. Charlie on Instagram says pools are opening up soon in Texas. Yeah, give me an update. I want to get a feel for what the community is going through right now. Where I live in Michigan, to give you guys an update here, the pools are closed. You're not allowed to go swimming, but they might be opening soon. So end of May, beginning of June, some pools might be able to open up. Here in Chicago, it says those are really nice bands. The sets are very complete. Chicago pools will be closed ongoing through September. No, in Chicago, no swimming until September. Portugal, only high competition started yesterday. So I think that means like elite swimmers started training again. We're not allowed to swim anywhere, but we're allowed to run and bike. Thank you on Instagram. Let's see. Pools are closed in Lebanon. Christine says in Norway, all pools are closed. Out 2020, we are able to swim in the ocean. However, it's still too cold. Oh, wow. No swimming in the rest of 2020. That's not good. Till now, not sure in Kuwait. I'm going to scroll back here on Facebook. Let's see here. Maybe with a wetsuit. In Toronto, Canada, no pools, no beaches yet, colder than usual. I have a backyard pool, but it's still too cold. Well, it's great that you have a backyard pool. No swimming in Belgium, but for Mr. Teddy, it's allowed. Mr. Teddy, what's up? He's getting the shout out. There he is, Mr. Teddy. So Mr. Teddy has no feelings for cold, so he can swim. All right, Carol says in Florida, they are open, the beaches, but the community pools are closed and they're not getting any updates. Kate says no beaches. Natalie says can't even swim in the sea in South Africa. Oof. Kate says all pools are closed in Massachusetts. Dang. I'm moving to Portugal. Hey, you know what? Go where the pools are, right? India pools are closed. Okay. So thank you, everyone, for sharing an update. Still waiting on the governor in New Jersey. Yep. We're in the United Kingdom. Wild swimming is now allowed. There we go, Neil. Get out there. Nice. What else we got? So thanks for in Chile, pools are not open until 2021. Ouch. I am from Algeria. Bonjour, bonsoir, marhaba, salam alaikum. Welcome everyone to the Ask a Swim Pro show. Today we are talking about resistance bands. So we're going to talk about how you get the most out of resistance bands. If you're not familiar with a resistance band, basically it is a tool like this, or it could be like this. There's different versions of resistance bands. And the benefit here is that you can do strength training out of the water. And so you might not be able to swim, but in this video, I'm going to share with you guys a few different tips and a few different exercises that you can do with resistance bands. And there's a lot of different kinds. So maybe the first thing I'll do, and as you guys are joining, welcome, and keep letting me know in the comments if you're allowed to swim where you live and when the pools are going to open. Hello from Brazil. Hello from Iran. Hello, John on Facebook. He says, no pools are open in Newfoundland, Canada. Hello, hello. Pond water temp is 38 degrees. I'm assuming that's in Fahrenheit. So that's like, what, 5 degrees Celsius? Oh, my God, that's way too cold. Can't do it. Can't do it. Avery says, hello, I am new to swimming. I want to join the swimming team at my school. And I was just wondering if you can give me some tips to work on while I practice. I'm kind of slow. So like, yeah, well, swimming speed is all relative. And in this video, we're going to talk about resistance bands. So let's get on with it. Let's talk about resistance bands because I think we've talked enough about where you guys are coming from. Keep letting me know. Nice session as always, Ferris. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. In the Czech Republic, pools are closed. I'm getting restless. No pools in Chicago. Hello from Korea. All right, so we have a really international community. Thank you so much for being a part of it. You guys we're all in this together. No pools, no excuses. I love it. No pools, no excuses. So we're going to talk about what resistance bands are, and then we're going to talk about the different kinds of resistance bands. We're going to talk about why you would want to use resistance bands training, some tips to make the most out of resistance bands, and how you can train without having a swimming pool. So that way, when you get back in the pool, you're able to train and you'll be really, really effective. Hello from Israel. Mr. Teddy gets a shout out. Hello from Peru. Excellent. What were the bands that you showed earlier? Great question. So these resistance bands, if you DM us, we're going to put a link in the description on Facebook and on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, you're going to have to DM us. Hello from Ukraine. You're going to have to DM us. Lorenza, hola, ¿cómo estás? So you're going to have to DM us if you want the resistance bands on Instagram. But after this video, we're going to put a link in the description so you can buy these. And we're also going to put a 20% off discount code to buy any of these products. So any of these things that you see, aren't these really cool? We see resistance bands. I got another one right here. Let me pull it up for you guys. Look at this one. So this is actually a doorstop. Let's just start right there. So when you're using different resistance bands, if you have one with handles like this one, so this one's got handles. So this is where your hand goes, right? So you've got a handle, okay? Handle, hand goes in the handle and you grab it. Some resistance bands actually have like a paddle and it tries to mimic a pull pattern, right? So it doesn't really matter, but basically you need to have something to grip and there's different size handles. So that's one part of the resistance band. The next component is potentially the most important actually. It's the resistance band itself. So if everyone can see this, it's a pink band. I have a yellow band. And the thing that makes resistance bands really beneficial is there's different levels of resistance. So by having different levels of resistance based on your strength and the exercise that you're doing, you can train differently based on what you're doing. And you can have different resistance bands. So you should have around 3 to 5 different resistance band levels. You can actually do a lot just on one because you can just stand further away from the origin point. And so you have different resistance bands, like the strength, the elasticity, and that allows you, and you attach them to paddles. Excellent. That's great. Yeah. So you don't have to have a handle. You can attach them to paddles. So in this kit right here, I've got, paddle, not a paddle. I have a handle. And then you have the resistance band. And then how does the resistance band attach to anything? Well, you need to attach it to a stationary object, which can either be a door or a window. And this is called a door stopper. So basically, you'll stick this into the side of a door, and then you'll close the door, and it should be really sturdy. So that way you don't have any issues. And then you have resistance against a door or a wall, and you can leverage that for strength training. So that's kind of the setup. So these are the main 3 components. You have door stopper or a hook. You can attach it to a wall. Doesn't really matter, but it needs to be sturdy and safe. That's number 1. And then number 2, you've got the resistance band. And this is the most important part because you have different levels of resistance. And you can have a more difficult level of resistance. You can have a easier resistance, different color coded. That's good. And then you have the handle. And the handle is what you grab. And that's what you're leveraging with your body. Okay, so those are the components. And they range in price. So actually, if you DM us on Instagram, we're going to link you and we'll give you a 20% off discount code to buy this. If you guys are watching this on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to put a link in the description and we'll put the promo code. And I think the promo code might only last for like a week or something. So you guys need to jump on that if you don't already have resistance bands. We're going to put it linked in the description. And then, so stay tuned. We'll be promoting it. And then this is called a mini band. And I think these I like more than the big resistance bands. You can't do as much resistance. Like you can do, squat rows, you can do chest press, you can do, rotational movements with the actual like resistance band because it's longer. And if you notice, like, I don't know if you guys can see how much resistance it's giving me. This is a relatively light, it's maybe 5 kilograms of resistance. So I can actually just grab it and I can pull it apart relatively easy. And I'm not that strong. I'm not the Incredible Hulk. Okay. I'm not the weakest person in the world. I'm not the strongest person in the world, but different levels of resistance, you can actually have a lot of elasticity. So even if you're a younger swimmer or you're first getting started with dryland training, it's actually not that hard to get started because they have different elasticity. So this is a very basic, very light, it might be less than 5 kilograms of resistance. And then this one is a little bit thicker. It's a little bit stronger, and I can pull it apart, but you can tell it's thicker and more like that. Do you send to Norway? Yes, these will ship all over the world. My Swim Pro does not actually sell the resistance bands. I want to make that very clear. My Swim Pro doesn't sell the resistance bands, but we have a partner that does, and the partner was so kind to give us a 20% off discount code. So if you guys want, look in the description, and then you can buy them. So this is a resistance band. Now the mini band, which I mentioned, the mini band right here is very, very neat because you can do a lot of different things with it that you can't do, or you can do easier than with the big, longer resistance band. And if you guys haven't already checked out the videos we did on YouTube, they're on all of our social media actually, talking about different resistance band exercises. I actually lay out 15 different exercises. About 5 of them you do with the mini band, and then 5 you do with the bigger resistance bands like this. Okay, there's a lot of different exercises you can do, but the reason why I like the mini band is because it's like it kind of goes on your body. So I can't show you because I can't stand up and put it in my leg, but basically you can put your feet, imagine my hands are my feet, you put your feet inside, you can put these around your ankles, you can put this around your knees, on the outside of your knees, and it goes right on your skin or on your pants, depending on what you're wearing. But because it goes like on your body, I feel that I'm really connecting the muscles a lot better. And so, if it's anything like doing a squat, for example, and then keeping your knees out, this is a great tool for that. There's different resistance levels, different colors. Each color has a different resistance. And you can also do something like injury, shoulder rehab, injury prevention. So something as simple as having a external rotation. So like here, and then you're actually doing out, right? So this is an external rotation. There's a lot of different things you can do with the mini band that you can't do with the longer. I think they're both great tools that you should have in the kit. So most important thing, if I want to give you guys some tips, and that's the point of this video, how are you going to actually use this equipment? So number one, if you don't already have the My Swim Pro app, make sure you download it, update it. It's fantastic. You've got your dryland training, your swim training, all of these different, you saw the 15 exercises videos. Fantastic. That's great. Someone's paying attention. This is good. So if you guys, we'll also link those in the description on Facebook and YouTube. So if you haven't already seen those videos, different resistance band exercises. Again, if you want to purchase this stuff, My Swim Pro doesn't make them, but we partner with different companies that sell this, and we can give you a 20% off discount code linked in description. Buy it. Now, the most important thing, though, I want you guys to take away is making sure safety first. Okay, so first of all, download the app so that way you can have a training program and you know how to use all this equipment, right? It's great to follow a YouTube video, but if you follow a structured training program, day 1, day 2, exercise progression, build that endurance and strength over time and build your technique. You have to do that with a progression, with a training program. So make sure you download. Yes, for Germany as well. Yes, anywhere in the world will ship. Well, not we, My Swim Pro won't ship, but the partner company will ship all over the world. So let us know in the comments where you're coming from, and most likely we can ship there. And then safety first. So after you download the My Swim Pro app and you got a plan, you got to make sure you have a safe space to work out in. You can't just work out wherever you feel like, okay? So you got to have a solid place to hook up your equipment. Not only that, you have to have a good place to store the equipment. And also you have to have good technique, because if you don't have good technique, then you're going to put yourself in a position for injury, and we don't want you getting injured. No injury, no injury. Carol says, you're being so thorough and describing everything helps so much. Of course, Carol, let me know if you have any specific questions. Happy to help. So once you have a safe spot to do it in, you have a safe place to store your resistance band stuff. Next, you got to make sure you have the right technique. So in the very beginning, you actually don't want to do a lot of resistance. Like I mentioned that this resistance band is really easy for me. Like it's very light. It's actually better to be super, super simple on your body. So that way you can develop the right technique. Because if you struggle and the resistance band is way too thick for you, right? Like let's say you're not strong enough for the pink, you've got to stay on the yellow. Or then you have the red and then the blue. and then the orange, and then the black. And you might not be able to use those to have proper technique. So having the right technique, following a training program is the most important thing that you can do. So don't think that you need to train really heavy weights, And one thing we didn't talk about is the benefits of doing this in the first place. Like, why would I want to do resistance training over push-ups, over sit-ups? Now, those are all fantastic, and you should do body weight exercises. The benefit of doing resistance bands and having that added weight, added resistance, is that you can improve your agility, speed, agility, strength, and power. So agility is how fast you can move, how fast your muscles can react. And this is actually really difficult to do in a swimming pool because the water is 800 times more resistive than air. So you're actually moving really slow through the water. It's really difficult to have your muscles fire quickly. So that's how you can improve your agility with resistance bands, because you're going to be able to really flex the muscle in a way that you can do it in the pool. The next reason why a resistance band is really beneficial, it's going to improve your strength. So when it comes to the actual amount of like weight and resistive force that your muscle can apply, it's like how strong you actually are. We're talking about strength. So that's the difference in elasticity between the different bands. The different colors have different strength, like resistance elasticities. And so when we're talking about strength, it's actually getting physically stronger and building the power. The power is the third one. That is a combination of your agility and your strength. So it's moving weight. How fast are you moving the weight? That is power. Power, strength, and agility. All three of those can be more beneficial if done out of the water in addition to in the water. So ideally, if you're trying to be better at swimming, you're going to swim and you're going to do out of water dryland training. So that's why you would want to do resistance band exercises, because you're going to improve your agility, your strength, and your power. Remember, agility is speed. Strength is basically how strong you are. And then power is a combination of those two. It's how fast you can move your body, how fast you can move the resistance. And all three of those are super important to improving your performance and also your health, because, injury prevention is part of that. Like, you need to have the strength in your shoulder, in your rotator cuff, in your back muscles to support everything that you're doing. So that's a little bit of a background about why you would use resistance bands. And hopefully you guys found the tips of getting started helpful. Remember, you need to have a safe place. Technique is super important. You have to follow a training program, so that way you're building progression over time. And then you can actually learn the right mechanics of how you can get stronger. Because if you just go and do the same exercises over and over, it's like, oh, I have a band. Like, what do I do with it? Let me get stronger. It's not going to work like that. Okay. So whether you have the mini band or you have the resistance bands, regardless of what kit you have, whether you use handles, a door stopper, however you have it set up, doesn't really matter. It's most important that you're staying safe, you have good technique, and you're doing it consistently over time, so that you build that endurance and that progression, and you develop your muscles in your body over time. So again, last shout out for this specific resistance band product, and then we're going to go to the Q&A. So if you haven't already purchased resistance bands, if you're on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to link in the description a URL where you can buy these. Again, My Swim Pro we don't make the resistance bands. We focus on the swimming and dryland stuff. But if you want equipment, we partner with awesome companies to make sure you guys can deliver the maximum amount of performance improvement and health. And so we are going to give you guys a 20% discount code with our partner, and you can buy this stuff if you don't already have it. So check it out, linked in the description. If you're on Instagram, DM us or go to the content on YouTube and Facebook. And if you guys haven't already seen the different Whiteboard Wednesdays that I did on resistance bands, about exercises, why you should do it, how you should do it, go and check those out on our YouTube page and all of our social media. Now, let's get into the Q&A. All right, here we go. On Instagram, I'm going to start here because I see the questions piling in. What is my favorite kind of equipment? So I actually I like the resistance bands, but separate from those, I like the Swiss ball. I like the big physio ball. Fun fact, the Swiss ball got its name from Switzerland. So if I have anyone on the feed from Switzerland, huge shout out. So what is DMS? Oh, DMS, good clarification. DM means direct message. So if you want to communicate directly, we call it DM. So I got to clarify because not everyone is in the United States. So DM is short for direct message. So good question. My favorite exercise tool is the Swiss ball, actually. I do like, if I have to pick resistance band stuff, I like the mini band because it's the most practical. It's the most portable. Look at this. It can fit right in my pocket. Look at this. Boom. It's in my pocket. Look at that. Boom. There it is. So I like this thing, but the mini band's great, but I like the Swiss ball. And the Swiss ball got its name from Switzerland because maybe 50, 60 years ago, physiotherapists were using a big exercise ball in their therapy sessions, and it got the name Swiss ball. It can be called physio ball, yoga ball. There's a lot of different things you can call it, but that's my favorite piece of equipment because you can do a lot of different things with it. It does take up a little bit of space because you're not going to inflate it and do all that. All right, here we go. Thank you for the whiteboard too. Awesome. Diana. Hi, where are you from? I like your name. Okay, so let's go to Facebook. Ronald says, it's been 2 months already that my swimmers were not able because the pool was closed. Hello from the Philippines. Ronald, I feel your pain, man. I haven't been in the water in 3 months. Let's see here. Any other questions from people? I'm going to go ahead and scroll on Facebook. Norway, what's going on? How do you stretch your feet so it doesn't hurt as much when how do you stretch your feet? Oh, you're from Chicago. Nice. No, I meant a good one. So there's ankle flexibility, and this is where you sit on the ground and you point your toes, and you got to do this consistently. That's the biggest thing with stretching. You can't just like stretch and then you're good the next day. Like you have to do it like 3 or 4 or 5 times per day, or else you're not going to see any benefit. Like it's going to be really hard to improve your flexibility. So number one is like you sit on the ground and then you point your toes and you try and get your toes to touch the ground. That's awesome. So trying that, do that 3, 4, 5 times per week. Now, if you're talking about not cramping up when you swim or work out, that's a little bit different. So if you're talking about that, and most likely you're probably dehydrated. So make sure you're hydrating before, during, and after your exercise. And in addition to not being dehydrated, you can do like for the bottom of your foot, what I like to do is you kind of like you step and you put your foot behind you and pretend like my hand is your foot. So this is the ground. You're going to flex your feet back. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically if this is the ground, you're going to put your foot and then you're going to like flex your toes. I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe we'll make a video about that. Sorry. What cardio is better for dryland, cycling or running? Well, it depends on the person. So if you really like to run and you can do it and it doesn't cause any pain, go running. Cycling, on the other hand, allows you to do it like every single day or almost every day. Running is high impact. Cycling is something that you can do. You can do it inside too on a trainer. You don't need a treadmill. It's a little bit easier to do cycling inside, but yeah. So let me know in the comments what questions you guys have. Yes, sorry, Maya. I hope that was helpful on Instagram. Oh man. All right. Let me know what the pool situation is like. Not everyone who's been on here, let me know. Where are you from? Where are you from? And what is your current situation when it comes to getting in the pool? Like I said, in Michigan, we're not able to swim. The state is on stay-at-home advisory until May 28th. So today, what day is it? Today is May 14th. So 2 weeks. Wow, it's the middle of May. Isn't that exciting? So the middle of May, but 2 more weeks in Michigan. And then after Michigan gets our stay-at-home thing over, I'm assuming it's probably not going to be over in May. So most likely it's probably going to extend into like June. The problem is not a lot of pools have money to open up if it's a state or a public facility. You know, you got to pay for lifeguards. You have to pay to fill with water. You have to pay for heating. And a lot of areas don't have the money right now. So they're just going to decide not to open at all for the summer. So it's really going to be hit and miss. Maya says from Virginia. Whoa, a ton of comments just came in. What's going on, guys? In Virginia, all pools are closed. And when they open, you can only do lane swimming. Well, I mean, that's better than no pool. Nora, hello. Open water swimmer from Mexico. 2 months out of the water. Ouch. From Morocco, living in Kuwait. Hey, Nora. Open water swimmer from Mexico. Hello. Ukraine, pools are closed. Yep. Carol asks, what is the best, your favorite, poolside non-slip sandals? Oh, this is a good question. All right. To be honest, like I'm a shoebie. I always go barefoot or full-on gym shoes, athletic shoes. Like, I'm weird. A lot of people don't do that. In terms of, product, so that's me. Like, I prefer running shoes, athletic running shoes. And then for like sandals, if you checked out Crocs, Crocs are like, I don't know, people have different opinions about Crocs, but for me, I'm a shoebie, so I go barefoot or shoes. Craig says, hey, Craig, what's up? Will you be swimming in the Mighty Max swim event if happening? Will I be swimming in it? No, I will not. Will it be happening is another question. I don't know if they'll run that event. You know, all events right now are not looking very good for the next few months. So if you're planning on doing a race or an open water or pool competition in the summer, I would encourage you to not think that it's going to happen, because you don't want to set yourself up for disappointment. It's very unlikely that anything competition-wise happens in the next 2 months. Okay, so just set your mental. If so, great, that's awesome. If you can go do a competition, like, that's amazing. Like, good, go do it if you feel safe and it's good. The reality is that's probably not going to happen. So don't set yourself up for disappointment. My students, including us, water lovers, are frustrated in India because the liquor shop is open, but the pool is not open. Well, I guess the liquor shop is an essential service if they sell food. So that might be why they're open. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, gyms and pools are, they're not opening everywhere at the same time, but it's the reality that we live in. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining this Instagram live. Again, and Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Can you send the food chart? I want food. What food chart? Sure. If I know what you're talking about, we'll hook you up. Maybe DM us, send us a direct message, and I'm going to decline this call. I don't know why I'm getting a call. We don't want to call. Sorry guys, I got a phone call. Why are you calling me? Don't call me during a live session. Come on now. All right. In Greece, open water swimming is allowed since May 4th. Hopefully the pools will be opening on June 29th. Ooh, hello from Greece. Welcome. Welcome. Hope the Mediterranean vibes are good with you. Yeah, I mean, interesting. So I want to thank you guys again for joining this episode of Ask a Swim Pro Show. It was hopefully useful in talking about resistance bands. If you guys made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much. If you guys have been with us from the very beginning, 30 minutes to spend with me, I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe on our YouTube channel, like the video, share it with anyone you think it might be useful. And of course, any of the other content that we produce, whether it's resistance bands, any other exercise equipment, workout of the week, whiteboard Wednesdays, we have a lot of content that we're producing on a regular basis. So if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to reach out with us. As always, take care, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Ending the live stream.